What's up, guys? Welcome to VHP Engines. So, guess we're gonna talk about the J series tonight. I don't feel, or say, I don't feel like I've done the engine conversation justice yet. But then again, I mean, honestly, I think I can't say that I haven't. But I did think it was enough of a standout engine that not a lot of people know about, not a lot of people talk about. Even poke around on YouTube, you see that when you search for like Honda J Series or J Series Turbo or whatever, one of my videos popped up, and it's not even about J Series; it just has J Series tagged in it. So that just goes to show you how little information's up there, which kind of intrigues me to want to build one even more than before. But my problem is, if I build one, kind of like, so what? Like, what am I going to put it in? I'm not going to put it in anything. I don't have time or the extra cash. I guess I'd have to sell it to somebody and hope they put it in something. Anyway, that's the whole nother shit. So let's get to the point of what we're talking about here. And then I want to talk about the power capabilities of the J Series. And the more I started thinking about this last weekend, actually I was thinking about it last week, the more I kind of realized that and I can not mention the K, but you got me thinking about the K series and the differences between the two, and how I've always imagined that the K series being like the king go-to build for NA, and for 4-cylinders it definitely is, but I don't think I can say so much anymore that it's like the best build to go NA, when the J series you can find at a far cheaper price engine wise. I think you'd pay more on the transmission. Now I'll admit I fucked up on that. I didn't check the price of the transmission. Let me see if I can find it real quick. But anyway, for the J series long blocks, even the good ones like the 35s are like really cheap compared to a K. Like if you go buy a K20A2 long block from one of these places, you're looking at like what, close to $2,000, I think. Compared to a J series, you're looking at like $400 or $500. That sounds like a steal to me. Let's see. And the transmission is the crux of this. This is what it came down to in the end, is that the transmission being the weak point on here. Now, if you're going to go for an NA build, I think that the J series is definitely something to fuck with. The J32, like A2, and the J35 A8 are like amazing. Like the A8 for the J35 makes like 283 to the crank or some shit like that, and the J32 A2 makes around like 260 or something. So you're already starting off with really good power levels. I think that it's easy to fuck with that engine, do a little bit of bolt-ons and shit, 93 tune, and you're looking at 300 wheel horsepower fucking on pump NA. K series can't do that. You can do 300 horsepower NA, but you can't do it on fucking 93. You're gonna need 85 at the minimum. All right, yeah, okay. So now when it comes to boost, like I was seeing the power levels. Somebody made mention a couple videos ago when I first mentioned J series at all ever on this channel. Like, oh well, 700 horsepower these stock engines gonna do. Now, and I mentioned before in the last video that the J32 A2 that this guy was talking about was making 700 horsepower stock, but it only made like 20 passes before it blew up, and which is still impressive. But we're here on this channel. We do cheap and we do long-term, as longevity. And so I started digging around, doing a little bit more J research, seeing some dyno shit and all that stuff. And I saw another J32A2 that was built not too long ago, a couple years back, that had a GT35R on it. And stock, the guy made like 400 and something. And then a valve dropped and fucking detonated the block. But then he did something that's cool, which is going to lead me into another video topic here soon. He did a high compression rebuild, but high compression boost. And they made fucking 650 horsepower on pump like that, which is amazing. And then they made like 700 plus on like race gas. I'm not sure which one, 118 octane or some shit. I don't know what kind of gas it is, what race brand it was or anything, but I know that's what they made. Okay, so here's my thing. Okay, so NA, the J beats the K. And when it comes to turbo, I would say that the K series arguably is still probably the better route to go, simply because of the fact of two things. One, transmission availability for the J series is not as readily available as the K, and the price is pretty staggering. I'm looking at one 6-speed here. It's $1,600, and the cheap one is $1,000. So that's kind of expensive. And then secondly, it's a 6-speed, and it kind of limits what you can do with a turbo. A turbo and 6-speed doesn't really mesh together 100% the best, depending on what kind of driving you're gonna be doing with the car. If you're gonna do it on a circuit type deal, then yeah, 6-speed all the way. If you're gonna do drag racing with it, I mean, it's not, I wouldn't say it's the end of the world, but it's something you got to really consider and learn how to drive like that. 6-speed is not something I would necessarily want on a drag strip, or maybe, I don't know, yeah, maybe, I guess I can see that. But me personally, I'm more into the high gear or mid gear rolls, and you want the longer gears for boosts on the highway and stuff like that. I can speak from experience on that one. And that will probably be tomorrow's topic, transmissions. So, yeah. So I think that the J series definitely beats the K NA. And it maybe ties with the K on boost. Although I think the transmission holds it back. Another drawback to the 6-speed transmission, besides the gear ratios, is the 6-speed transmission is more likely to break faster than the 5. Simply because of the fact that there's more shit crammed into the transmission. Inherently, those pieces are going to be a little weaker than if you could have just 5 gears that are a little beefier. And that's the problem with the K series too. When you're making big horsepower, is the transmission is what's normally likely to fail on you. So okay, so another thing is to one of the things that I was coming across, and somebody that I know mentioned the J series don't do well in a Civic, Integra, etc. So because of the fact that the weight differences or whatnot. But I gotta kind of call bullshit on that one too, because unless you're gonna make it like a track car and you're worried about every little aspect of weight and balance there, when I say track I mean like circuit racing, I wouldn't say that that's really a drawback, the weight, because the same people said the same shit about the H22. Oh, the H22 is too heavy for that chassis. Bullshit. Fucking H2B's out there destroying cars. And there's not a lot of J series stuff on YouTube, but you can go out there and see these fucking J swap Civics that are making some serious fucking power out there, putting work down. Okay, so I know I'm kind of bouncing back and forth here, but one of the things I want to say too is like from the my original thing that I said about the 350, 400 wheel horsepower safe range for a stock J32. I want to make that little revision for the J32. I would say that that's where you want to keep it at. If I might have already even said that, because I said that originally that the J35's rods were a lot beefier, can handle more power. But yeah, there are some out there that are making really high horsepower, but those engines aren't lasting. And we here on VHP Engines want to make power cheap, and we want to make it last a long time. So yeah, it can make a lot of power. I wouldn't push too hard. And the fact that if you're looking at 300 horsepower NA, I don't even know if I'd even want to boost at that point. I kind of want to see what I could squeeze out of the naturally aspirated. But I don't know. That's for a future thing. I've thought about the J series back and forth for the last 3 or 4 years, and I really want to fucking grab one, guys. If I see one close by me, I'm on it for sure. I'm gonna buy it. It's 100% guaranteed. Just right now, my only option to get a J that I know of is to ship one out of fucking Florida, and that's $190 shipping, all that shit. I don't think I want to do that right now. So anyway. Yeah, I think this is going to wrap up tonight's video right there. I will be doing a discussion on high compression turbo in the future. and tomorrow's video will most likely be transmissions. So far, it seems like we're holding pretty strong here, 3 weeks in a row with managing to keep the schedule the way I've intended to. So I will be, what I'm going to try and do next is take it up one notch further and try to post on Facebook my my schedule, not the times, because the times are way too flexible still. But I'm going to do the topics. I'll let you know the topics ahead of time. And if I have a good idea of what I'm going to do already, then I'll let you know every day when I close out the video. I'll close with the topic. Alright guys, so thanks for watching. Give a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video or you got anything out of it. I appreciate that. Channel's still growing, so all the thumbs ups helps. I have very well organized, do-it-yourself videos or playlists on my channel. So if you're new here and you have questions, please click on VHP Engines and go through and scroll down and look at the playlist I have. There's a good chance that whatever question you're going to ask me, I've already addressed. Got no problem with talking with you guys, but I would appreciate it if you spend the time to go over the information I've already put out. And once you've already watched at least the entirety or the majority of the Beginner's Turbo playlist and stuff like that, then feel free to hit me up. And if you're still a little bit lost, I can guide you in the right direction. And if you go through all that stuff right there and you find this channel seems to be helpful, feel free to subscribe and stick around and get the notifications. And that's going to be it for now, guys. Thanks for watching. Peace.